Hey there, Tundra Nation, and welcome back to the channel. Today on Tundra Tactical, we are gonna do the worst, most heinous, most egregious thing there is to do in the gun community. We are gonna make fun of your precious safe queens. So sit back, get out that polishing cloth, and let's start the show.
Excellent!
Now let's start off strong. You have an old double-barrel hand-me-down from your grandfather that predates the surrender of Japan. You probably shot it a lot when you were younger, but then realized the sentimental value of it. Now it's been decades since you've shot it, and you've got much more practical guns now, so you no longer need to shoot it either. Your car is whatever Consumer Digest suggested it should be the month you went car shopping because, hey, you just wanted the best value. Your go-to rifle is a PSA assembled made just for you and anybody else with $987 to spend. The 12-gauge shotgun is the type of safe queen you find in the closet of the descendants of a Southern family with a rich heritage involving moonshining, bootlegging, and horse theft.
Thanks, Obama.
Folks, this is the type of person you really do not want to mess with. They're cunning genetically. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to load up the inside of their front door with tannerite so that if you were ever to kick it in, they could just shoot the door instead of you and then claim the door had a manufacturer's defect.
Bada boom.
If you think that's a great and horrible idea at the same time, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. All right, next on our list is an original Colt Python that you don't even realize is your safe queen. This is probably the only gun you have because it's the only gun you're ever gonna need. This beauty has been sitting at the bottom of your underwear drawer for decades, looking like that bag next to your dryer, untouched and stuffed with lint. This is the first gun that you ever shot with your dad when you were a boy, so no further training is required. In fact, this was your father's revolver, and when he went to go get milk that night, it was the only thing he regretted leaving behind.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
Staying in line with the hand-me-downs, we have the old Winchester 1886. If one of these adorns the top of your gun rack, then I can assure you it's in one of the most obscure calibers around, like maybe 4590 WFC, because you need to prove you're the toughest cowboy in your particular suburb. You enjoy telling people what caliber it is because you know they're gonna try and correct you and say, "Don't you mean 4570? You joyfully reply with a smug attitude, telling them the only minor difference between the two. Once you get through your morning routine of keyboard warfare about calibers on the ARFCOM forums, you get that extra hunky shot of creatine in your system and get to working out so you can look like you're actually big enough to handle the recoil of it. You do all the same things the CrossFitter guys do, but you don't call it that. What you do, well, that's much harder, and you post pics to Instagram to prove it to the CrossFitters. In reality, when working out, well, you look more like the love child of Billy Blanks and Richard Simmons. If your safe queen is a high-end 1911, then you love the discounts the AARP card gives you. In fact, you have several high-end 1911s that all get used for IDPA and bowling pin shoots, but you do have that one unicorn that you had made just for you. You told yourself the thousands of dollars this gun costs and the 9-month wait will all be worth it once you make Grandmaster for the IDPA Nationals. Once you get there, you'll know you're worthy to start shooting that fine of a gun. But until then, it stays in the safe, within the safe, and only a few pictures are taken of it every few hours for Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, your profile photo probably looks something like this. Every single comment you post is the most cringy boomer thing to have ever been written up until that point. Pro tip, that isn't Geek Squad that emailed you, and they didn't actually give you too much money back. You're being scammed, bud. Go ahead and hang up right now. You'll thank me later. You think you're hip because at bedtime you read on an iPad and you have an iPhone, but in reality you're so far out of touch that you think WTF means we're that family. That's sad.
Ladies and gentlemen of this supposed jury, it does not make sense.
Let me ask you a question. Does your favorite commie gun have an internal magazine? If so, then your safe queen is an all-matching serial number SKS. The reason this is your safe queen is different than most other people on this list though. It holds no sentimental value, and they aren't even all that expensive, even with the recent rise in prices. No, you, my friend, bought one so coated in cosmoline, you know it doesn't function.
That's a dang it.
You had no idea what cosmoline was when you went to the Denton County Fairgrounds gun show, but once your girlfriend left you stranded there after leaving in an Uber, you, being an enthusiastic 18-year-old, had to buy a rifle. You got this nice deal and a lesson on why it was so sticky, and realizing your mom would kill you for making another sticky mess for her to clean, well, you then put this rifle in the back of your closet and call it your other safe queen. Hey, if you want to see me struggle through the practice reading of this script and yell at my writers incessantly, come check us out over on Patreon for that uncensored content. And yes, it is uncensored, but I'm wearing all my clothes. Coming into the modern era, if your safe queen is a purpose-built long-distance gun, then you probably can't actually shoot that well at long distance. You bought this for when you were going to take a class with your buddy's uncle that used to be a MARSOC sniper. Well, you then found out that he was just a crazy guy living in a van down by the river without his medication. With your hopes dashed, into the back of the safe it went, along with your dreams attached to it. You buy into every other fad out there, just like you did with Hummers, and now you're still paying off that H3 with the titanium gas cap. Anything that you own in camo is some form of Cryptek, and when that went out of style, you stuck by them because you've got loyalty, and for that reason, we know you're never gonna give up that 224 Valkyrie.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
If your favorite YouTube channel is Forgotten Weapons, then your safe queen is most likely a German Luger. While you don't condone the war, you love talking about the history of it. You've watched every single video on the subject, and you've heard all the stories about its design and what models were issued to what officers and everything. You love all things European. You drive a 2013 Mercedes sedan, your watch is a Stoa, which goes well with your Hugo Boss suits that you wear to work. You took your honeymoon in Berlin, and you love the fall because of Oktoberfest. You're just really happy to have this piece of history, although you don't really understand how your grandfather down in Argentina got it in the first place. Rounding out this list, we've got another classic with a Colt Peacemaker. You keep this inside of a see-through box inside of your safe so you can show it off without actually handling it. Your intentions are to keep this piece museum quality until the Smithsonian makes you an offer that changes your life for it. You love all things Wild West, and it's apparent from the amount of John Wayne and Clint Eastwood posters on the outside of your garage door. The last movie that you saw in theaters was 1992's The Unforgiven. You spend your weekends dressed in leather doing quick draw competitions and riding horses, while your wife, also dressed in leather, is riding a menace named Darren. That is a little strange because no matter how hard you Google it, you can't find any mechanical bulls named Darren in your area. That's all the time we have for you today, folks. If you like the video, make sure that you're subscribed and share it around with your friends. Come check me out over on Twitch and hang out 7 days a week where I am live. And don't forget to join us next time when we still don't know what the heck we're doing. Bye-bye.